Let's get ready to story.
Anyway, I'm a bit of a weirdo magnet in life. Like, weirdos find me all over the place. My best friend growing up when we were in elementary school was a weird kid. When I look back on it, he wasn't weird when I was hanging out with him, but when I look back on it, he was weird. And just all through my life, like, I was in a McDonald's one time, and a lady asked me when the first air-conditioned automobile was invented. And that's like a weird question to ask anybody ever. Stuff like this. I was playing video games in Radio Shack one time, and someone walked by me and just went, Radio Shack, by the way, remember those? So a lot of weirdos find me. So when I went to get my first real job, I wanted to work somewhere where I thought maybe the weirdos wouldn't find me. So I decided to apply at Verizon, which was Bell Atlantic at the time. And there was like an SAT test you had to take to get into Bell Atlantic. And I was like, this SAT test is going to eliminate the weirdos from being in this job, right? Actually, what I found out is the weirdos know how to take the SAT test much better than any of you guys do. And I worked with a lot of weird people at Verizon. There were just all these crazy people. There's a lady who talked to stuffed frogs and would put them on the phone with the customer if they asked for a supervisor. And one day I was in a break room, I got the wrong bag of chips, and asked her, she was standing behind me, I said, oh, do you want these? And she said, no, I only eat Middlesworth because they saved my life. Which, of course, I have to ask why. So she says that she fell off her motorized scooter, and the Middlesworth guy jumped out of the truck and put chips around her body. So she'd be stationary when the ambulance came. So she only ate Middlesworth for the rest of her life. And these people aren't the weirdest people I've ever met. So one day, this gets me to my main story. One day I'm waiting at the post office at the Steamtown Mall, and I sold on eBay all my CDs all at once, which is not recommended if you have a bunch of CDs. So I have this big box of like 300 CDs that I'm holding, waiting for the post office to open. And I don't know if you've ever carried something really heavy, but when you're carrying it, you get angrier quicker. You know what I mean? Like, people do stuff and it just aggravates you. Like, why is she brushing her hair? Like, you just want to get it out of your hands. So I'm standing there, and this sweet little old lady shows up, and we're standing outside waiting to go in. We're not talking to each other. She's, maybe this far away from me, and I'm just standing there waiting for the door to open, and she points to the glass door, which has the eagle stamp right in the glass of the door, and she just turns to me and goes, the eagle stamp, that's my favorite. That's the one I'm getting. I'm getting the eagle stamp. I'm gonna get the eagle because it's the best one. It's the one, and I'm just thinking to myself, just shut up, And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Because you can't let on because they might stab you in the neck. Because they're weird. They're weirdos. So I'm like, that's a good one. That one will get the package to where you want it to go. And, it's just very strange. And then she stops all of a sudden, just stops talking about it. And we're waiting. And then she turns to me, she goes, my new apartment has 2 living rooms. And she's like, my old husband would have liked that. One day I was out in the garden, because we lived in New Jersey. And I said, oh, the Garden State, I guess, right? And I said, oh, yeah. And she said, yeah. And I called to him, and I said, he was asleep in the living room. And I said, Art. I am not going to do it for the 5 minutes she did it for. But she stood there and she goes, and I thought, oh, maybe he's taking a nap. So I went into the living room and he's on the couch and I said, hey, Art. And she did it again. And then she said, and then I went to wake him up and I said, I'll wake up. And he rolled over, he's dead. What do you say to that? I'm like, oh, yeah. And he always wanted 2 living rooms. And he would have loved the 2 living rooms. And I said, oh, that's great. So we walk in, it finally opens. I walk in, she gets to the counter before me, and all I hear is the lady say, oh no, we don't have the Eagle stamp, we only have Liberty Bell. And that's what didn't kill me, made me strong. Thank you.